Welcome to the World of Horror Foundations podcast. I'm Mom, aka Christina, and this is the podcast where I'm going to take a tour of classic international horror. On the main pod, Mac and I choose a genre or subgenre of horror and pair an international film with an American one. With these minis, I want to fill in the gaps of my own knowledge and find those classics that have influenced and inspired modern horror. The only rules for this project is that the movie has to have been made before the year 2000, and it must not have been made in the U.S. The topic for today is David Cronenberg's RABID. Fair warning, I'm going to spoil the hell out of this thing. And to help me launch the series, Mac is here! Thanks for being here, Mac.
Of course. That was great.
Oh, thanks. I wrote it all myself.
I loved it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we put on a good show.
Yeah. Well, you do.
Well, let's just get right into it. I mean, it's a mini after all.
Yeah, mini-sode.
And yeah, let's endeavor to make these timeless, but we just talk in general terms, how, what about this weather?
Warmer than it was before. Love it.
That is so
Love
true.
That.
But they're talking about it changing.
That was a classic North Carolina. I feel like that must be a thing in every state. Yeah. North Carolina likes to think it's so special, but every state has that joke.
Yes.
It has to.
Yeah, don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's that's just weather.
I turned on the air conditioning and the heater in the same week.
What is this?
It's insanity.
Topsy-turvy town.
So this movie was David Cronenberg's second. I mean, he had done a bunch of TV and short movies, and he had done Shivers, and then he did this one. Okay, so this movie was written and directed by David Cronenberg, and it stars Marilyn Chambers, Frank Moore, Joe Silver, and Howard Rishpan. It was released on April 8th, 1977. So that was 2 days before my 8th birthday.
Wow.
I had no idea. It has a running time of 91 minutes, right in the Mac zone.
Perfect.
So in Canadian dollars, the budget was $530,000 and it made $1 million Canadian dollars. So that sounds pretty good, no matter how you slice it. So I don't know a lot about the history of Canadian film, but from my research, I gleaned that there was sort of a government entity that funded independent movies, and it had funded Shivers. Now, Shivers was not universally received well. It was considered too sexual. And so it the CFDC, the Canadian Film Development Corporation, wanted to distance itself from RABID. But they couldn't, not give him money because his films were, among the only profitable productions.
Hell yeah, go Cronenberg.
R.I.P. Ivan Reitman, they worked together on this film. And Ivan was actually the person who suggested Marilyn Chambers, who it was rumored she wanted to sort of, get into more mainstream movies. She had been in adult movies. And so.
Oh. I really don't mean this in a mean way, but I hope she didn't do more movies. I didn't think she was very good. I did not like her.
Yeah, I mean.
But I also think the writing could have used a lot of work.
Yeah.
This was not my fave.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you thought about it. But yeah, all those elements, she wanted an opportunity. She was available. She was affordable. And they figured she had that draw. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Cronenberg had wanted Sissy Spacek. And I was trying to think how that would have gone. I mean, she's a much better actress for one thing. And there is, I don't know if you noticed it, but when she's walking, there's a shot of the movie poster of Carrie in the
Ah,
background. No, I don't know what he was saying. Maybe he was just like, I love her. I love that movie. Okay. I had found this newspaper clipping from the time, and Cronenberg loves motorcycles and loves cars. So Fast Company was one of his movies, which I haven't seen, about cars, I guess. And he says to fall off of a motorcycle at high speed, to just fall and hit your chest on the ground, is an amazing experience.
freak.
You get the feel, and I can conjure it up so acutely that it hurts to think about it, of the limits, the physicalness of your body. Speed is visceral. It's very physical and sensual. It's also very ballet-like if you do it right. You're poised on disaster consistently, but if you do it right, it looks as though disaster is a million miles away. It's the same when you make a film. You're right up there on the screen. Either you embarrass yourself or it's just magic.
I am a big fan of Cronenberg's work. Just to preface my next statement. What?
Okay, so 77. So he's like, what is he now? 74? Anyway, he was quite a bit younger. But I mean, have you ever ridden on a motorcycle, Mac?
Yeah, I've ridden on the back of Dad's motorcycle. I can definitely say that crashing would have been my least favorite thing that could have happened while riding it. And I stopped riding on it after not his fault, but he got hit by a car. And then I decided, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how well you drive. All that matters is if somebody else drives poorly, and then you're dead.
Yeah. Or you have, what do they call it? Catastrophic brain injury, or what is it called?
Traumatic brain injury?
Traumatic. That's not as bad as what I said. Okay, traumatic.
Catastrophic.
Catastrophic would be like,
I think
you're not
dead.
coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie starts with a motorcycle crash, and our couple ends up, this is kind of crazy, the nearest hospital is a plastic surgery hospital.
I was also a little bit confused. So there's many things in this film that confused me, and I just had to kind of be like, oh, okay, all right. And one of them was when I see, the minivan that the motorcycle ends up hitting start turning around. I'm like, okay, so they're going to hit that minivan. But then I was like, why couldn't you have avoided it? Like, it would have been one thing if it was right around the bend, then they were there. But that's not how it looked in the movie. It was like, I was kind of like, is this guy just a bad motorcycle driver? Because I feel like they had a lot of time to correct.
Yeah.
And he just.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the way it was shot is sort of like you knew what was going to happen, and then you just watched it happen.
But it doesn't even, like, it'd be one thing if you're like, because there was no really sense of, okay, this is the thing with this movie that I think I had an issue with, is there were several scenes where it was like, okay, I get what you're doing. I get what you're trying to say, but this has no actual impact. It's like, there are scenes, like the scene in Dream Home where you see her with the hammer and your mind conjures up like, oh, she's going to hit him in the head with a hammer. But I was like, I still was thinking like, I know it's going to hit this, but why? I wasn't like, oh no, I was just kind of more like, it's going to hit it. Okay. But it didn't really have that much impact,
I got you. Yeah, he got better at that.
Yes.
Now, the name of the clinic is the Keloid Clinic. Do you know what a keloid is?
Yes. It's like a scar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think had one at one point. Because I have my nose pierced, but the other nostril, it got infected, and I had this huge bump there, well, over here. And I eventually just had to take that piercing out. So yeah, I've Googled a lot about keloids. So as soon as I saw that, I was like,
I see what you did there. Okay. Now the skin graft procedure is what leads to her developing this organ in her armpit, which is somebody described it as an anus. I thought it was more vaginal, looked more like a vulva and with a little like huge clit or like huge.
It has a barb. I mean, it looked like it had like how did her body create that?
Well, and also it does change shape over the course of the movie. So what it looks like at the end of the movie is quite different. But I guess it was the result of the skin graft.
This is such a bold choice to make a zombie movie, but then have the main carrier never bite somebody with their mouth. Instead, like you just are kind of confused because somebody's in pain. Like I didn't across the board dislike this movie, but there were choices that I was like, this is stupid. Like I didn't really like her little barb thing coming out of her armpit. I was like, I'm not scared. I'm not scared by this.
Yeah, I wasn't scared. I kind of just wanted to see. I wasn't ever scared in this movie. It's not a scary movie. I probably thought too much about it, but I kind of liked like that first attack. I mean, she's embracing the man, and he's kind of like, oh, okay, this is happening right now.
Yeah,
and he's like, I can't believe his luck. But then, he starts to experience pain because the barb is in her armpit, and it's,
yeah. And so there are portions that I like it reminded me a lot of like, and I know this movie comes before, but it reminded me of stuff like Teeth or something. The idea of like femme fatale who goes hunting like unsuspecting men. That's definitely a very cool concept, but and I did really enjoy that anytime that it just involved her just kind of showing what it's like to be, you don't even have to be an attractive woman, just a woman in the world, and you're just going to have creeps come up to you all the time. Mm-hmm. It's true. And so I did enjoy that part, but I just wish that the actual like thing felt more, I don't know, real. Because it doesn't make sense. Not the whole skin graft thing. I don't know anything about skin grafts, okay, but I know that can't happen. And why would it create this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I thought it looked kind of cool when the main doctor or whatever was like examining it.
I did think that was cool.
And I did like that first attack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you. And I really love my favorite scene is in the movie theater.
Yes, that I had the exact same thought. I was like, oh, this is the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
When like the kind of like cat and mouse game that these two were playing with each other. Meanwhile, the background like sound of the like, man, porn in the 70s mm-hmm. was I know that there must have been stuff that was way more erotic than that, but it just was so like, I don't know, like it's a special thing to give one's first time away. It's just like, not sexy at all.
But the guy was so weird.
Yes. And that was so upsetting.
Can I just come over there and sit with you? And then when she says yes, he's like so excited and it's so creepy and he's just a creep and a weirdo. That seemed very like real life to me.
Yeah. Well, cause he also touches her as he's walking by and then he literally says, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to touch you. I accidentally, when he only gets up, obviously when she enters the theater and like, yeah, it gave me the heebies. But so yeah, I really liked that scene and I liked her using their predatoriness against them mm-hmm. to predate on them. That is cool.
Well, then I want to talk about the ending, but do you want to talk about any other scenes in this movie?
I definitely think that now, granted, I have not lived in a pandemic involving people biting each other, but wow, Montreal was able to get their shit together so fast. That feels so unrealistic. they had like a fucking car wash going. Like they were doing a good job. Mm. not real. You know, like they immediately, this movie is what anti-vaxxers would have you think is going on. Like, oh, you don't have your card. Get out of here. You know, we're taking you away. Absolutely not. But this is what anti-vaxxers think is going on. And it's almost comical how much it's not this.
Yeah. Well, the government decides that the best way to deal with this outbreak is to shoot to kill on site.
Very interesting that there was no real talk of outrage among anybody, because, like, you know, in the parameters of this movie, I get why they did it, because they're saying, well, they're going to die anyway afterwards. There's no helping them. We don't have a cure. So the best thing we need to do is just, like, stop the spread. But I just really feel like a lot of people would be unhappy at the news that you're gunning down people in the streets.
Yeah.
And there was kind of like no talk of that. It was just like, well, that's what we're doing. So.
Well, I do think that Cronenberg does have, I don't know if contempt is too strong of a word, but I don't think he trusts authority. And I don't think, you know, I think this is kind of, you know, 30-year-old Cronenberg making a statement about, you know, the government. But also at the end, and I was very confused by this, but apparently she doesn't realize she's the cause of this outbreak. But that to me would suggest that she goes sort of into like a fugue state or like a blackout when she's attacking people, but she never seemed to do that.
And what was also really tough for me about this movie is that, like, we don't know her character at all before this happens. And all I know is, because the only time that we actually see her making decisions is when she's killing people. So, like, I hated this bitch. I was like, I have no empathy for you. Like, I don't know you. I liked Hart a lot better because he at least had what felt like a character and her friend. Like, but she, like, and I'm not going to blame all of this on the actress either, because, like, I don't know what Cronenberg did to give us any idea about who she is other than the fact that she's beautiful and her boobs are out. That's it. We saw her tits so many times in this movie for no reason. That it really was that they were like, oh, I mean, you're a porn actress. You're okay with it? All right. Well, then just every scene.
Yeah. When I did take a film class when I was in high school, because I went to a great high school, my teacher had a term for that. It was a GTS, the gratuitous tit shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie's full of
it. Yeah. So if you like boobs, WoHos, have we got a movie for you?
I mean, they're all right. What? Yes.
Dude, you're gay. So it's like,
I like women.
I know you like women, but I'm not shocked that, like, boobs is not your main thing.
I'm saying her I've seen better. I'm saying if you are watching this movie only to see boobs,
okay,
you're going to be left a little bit bereft because they weren't even that big. That's all I was saying.
Okay, fair enough.
That means I do get it because I can notice when.
Well, you can be an appreciator without being, like, you know, having that be your favorite thing.
This is true. Well, we don't have to talk about this right now.
Okay, so at the end, we see our girl in the alley. She's been thrown out, I guess.
Like garbage.
And then the guys in their white suits come by and they throw her into a garbage truck. And
a trash compactor.
She has reached the point of rigor mortis where she's completely stiff as a board and she's in the crucified pose. So her arms are out to the sides and then she's dumped in the trash compactor.
And again, it's like, I feel like maybe there could be interesting things to be said about, because I was trying to give Cronenberg a lot of credit by thinking, like, is he making a statement about how women are thrown away like garbage, like after they've lost their usefulness, or that, like, even a woman who's treasured for her beauty it's like it's a temporary thing, and they'll be thrown away too, when they can no longer satisfy or excite. But also, I might just be giving him too much credit.
I mean, I think that's fair. I'm not sure how many woman protagonistas there had been at this point in horror films.
I don't know. It just left me with a lot of questions. What's up with Hart? Okay. Also, wildest move ever for Hart to, because he's on the phone with her, as she's like, no, don't worry. I did a little experiment. I just took a little bit of a guy's blood, and he's sitting down, and then, we'll see that he's not going to attack me. And then when she does get attacked, he breaks the phone. So you can't get back into contact with her, dummy. And the actor specifically, because I noticed this because I was like, what the fuck? He throws the phone down, grabs it to put it in place, and then breaks the phone. And it just did not felt like they were like, okay, now break that phone.
Okay, I'm not sure, but I think he is like in the same building.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he knows. It's not like he doesn't know where she is. He knows exactly where she is. But now he also knows that she's a goner.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really thought about that. What if the person who causes this outbreak is actually attacked?
Yeah.
That was kind of a neat little thing.
And yeah, I did like that the doctor who started this whole thing, he's dead, too. And I feel like that's actually pretty interesting, because somehow the person who causes the outbreak is always somehow ends up still alive and then can help out with fixing it. But you can't. Nobody knows. There's no way for anyone to put the story together, because how could you? Yeah. I'm still even surprised that they tracked it down to the keloid clinic. I was kind of like, that seems really hard to do, especially before cell phones could track your location and everything. But it just seemed like maybe they're better than American police, probably. But it seemed like the Montreal police really had it going on. Organized, smart, effective. That was unrealistic.
Yeah, that's true. There were a couple other things I wanted to mention. The guy with the baby was as sweet as can be.
It was so sweet.
Oh my gosh. I want to see more biggish men with little bitty babies singing to those babies and kissing them on the head. I want to see a lot more of that.
That was really sweet, and how he was upset that somebody was interrupting them. He's like, "Can you believe this?" He says it to the baby.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Me too.
And I thought that was sweet, because in the beginning you kind of think he's a stinker. That was a really sweet scene.
And I gotta hand it to Cronenberg, To Kill a Baby in 1977.
I know. I was like, I can't believe he did this.
I mean,
he went there.
Koreans will do it any day of the week, but I mean. What does it remind us of? I put down Shivers, his first movie, and then also The Crazies.
Mm-hmm.
Is the remake like a government virus that escapes?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I thought the remake was great. I've never seen the original, but I enjoyed the movie. And I don't know, it's very interesting also to have something where the person dies soon after being infected. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of what disappoints me a little about this movie, is that there's little flashes of oh, okay, this is an original idea. Okay. But the whole thing put together was just not my thing.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess, but I'll forgive him. I guess one thing that just sort of doesn't work for me at all is her apparently not knowing that she's doing all of this, when we, the audience, don't get any indication of that.
And also, what she is, even if what she's doing doesn't create a pandemic, she still killed so many people. Mm-hmm. You leave them unconscious when you leave, girl. And she did kill that girl in the tub, because she put her in the freezer.
Yeah, so
it's you are a murderer. You don't have to have killed hundreds of people. You already did it, and you think that's worth it for you to live, to kill other people and drink their blood in your weird armpit. You're a bad person.
Also, I wanted to ask you, you said zombie before. Is this a zombie film or a vampire film? Or kooky hybrid?
Kooky hybrid.
Okay.
Because she feeds on blood,
Yeah.
but they bite people. But they don't
Yeah.
even try to eat people. You know what? You know what it is? It's a mess.
Okay, I think that's going to be our final verdict. Rabid is a mess.
Love you, Cronenberg. We love you.
Oh, we love you to fucking death, man.
Listen, we all make mistakes.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was the beginning
of a great career. Rocky start.
But you haven't even seen Shivers. I shiver to think what you would think of that. That's terrible. Okay. I don't have a rating system or anything like that. I don't think we have to do that on the mini, but would you recommend this?
You know, I still, like many older movies, I think I still would, because I think your whole concept of these mini episodes is really smart, because this does just feel like education, you know, where it's kind of like, no matter what you think of the movie, it did influence things, and it has influenced everything that you're watching today. So why wouldn't you want to see what influenced it, you know? And like, I'm not sad to have watched the movie. It's just wasn't my thing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That is exactly what I want to do with this little mini series, because and I feel the same way. Like, I'm probably not going to watch this ever again unless somebody really wants to watch it with me. I wouldn't mind watching it again, but I think I got it, you know, and there's so many other wonderful things to see. You've expressed an interest in watching a lot of these sort of foundational movies with me. So
yeah,
I look forward to that.
Ditto.
All right. Well, WoHos, thank you so much for tuning in. Let us know how you feel about these minis. And if you have any suggestions, please get in touch over social media. Anything you want to promote, Matt?
You can follow me on Twitch at The Gay Jimmy Buffett, and also on YouTube at The Gay Jimmy Buffett, and TikTok as The Gay Jimmy B, and Twitter on The Gay Jimmy B.
Wow. And I am mostly on Instagram. So World of Horror Podcast on Instagram. So thanks, WoHos.
Thanks, WoHos.
Thanks, WoHos. You're the best.
Have a great evening.
We love you. Come on back next time.
Don't go in the basement.